Well, here we are near the end of the semester. We're looking at MINITAB 6 assignment. Again, I'm going to go over this. I won't be doing the problems in this MINITAB, but I'll show you examples. Very similar. But again, I want to point out, please make sure you do what's in blue, because if you don't, you'll get points taken off for silly things like not putting your name on the paper. So please make sure that you do this. So the first problem is talking about children and their learning styles. Again, I'm not going to use this data or anything, but I am going to make the probability plots and box plots of each of these data sets and see if there's any major deviations from normality. Is it reasonable to use the T procedure? Why or why not? Then we're going to do a 95% confidence interval, and then we're going to do a hypothesis test or a significance test. So the first thing is, I'm doing a problem where I'm going to look at boy and girls' IQs. And so that's the problem that we're going to do. And we're going to make a box plot and a probability plot based on the data sets to see if we can use the T procedures. And then if we can, we're going to do a 95% confidence interval. So, make sure you put your name on Stat 250, of course, your Section 001, or whoever's watching this, whatever section number it is, you put in there, MINITAB Assignment 6. So in my case, I was going to do the problems about boy and girls' IQs. So I'm going to start formatting the paper nicely. So I do this. I want to make sure that I can do a number 2. But now I want to do Part A here because I want to do my probability plots. So I'm going to go on now and go into MINITAB and do my probability plots. So as you can see, my data is in column 1 and 2. And I'm going to do probability plots for the male IQ and then a probability plot and box plot for both the male and female IQ. So there's my command. I hit enter and I have my probability plot, making sure that the titles that make some sense. So I'm doing the probability plot of male IQs. And this was probability plots, and these were students taken in a Midwest school district. So I'm going to change this so that I reflect that, because you want to change the titles to make them more reflective of what's going on. And then male IQ, and if there were some kind of units, we would put that in there, but these are just the scores. So can't really change that too much, but you will have things to change in the MINITAB that you're doing, because we do have one that have units. But I'll say male IQ in the Midwest. So that looks pretty okay, not bad. So let's do the probability box plot rather. So there, I've done my box plot, and there's the command box plot of C1 transpose. And now it's time to change the titles a little bit. So I'm going to go in and do that, and you can see. So here we have that. I've changed the title. Now it's time to start getting ready to put that into my report. And I think I showed you this the last time. I like to put all 4 of where I like to put my graphs together. So I'm going to open up an Excel sheet. So here I've opened up an Excel sheet. Now I'm going to copy and paste my graphs in here. I'm going to highlight my P-plot, my probability plot, do Control-C, and open up my Excel sheet and paste it in there. I do Control-V. Whoops, or I could do paste like this. And now I want to minimize my graph in here so it's not so large. I want it to fit a lot of graphs in there, so I usually take it to about here so I can just see just enough, to show them that my graphs didn't look so bad. And so I'm going to do the same thing for the box plot. So I have my box plot in there. Now it's time to do the probability plot and box plot for the females. So there's the command, the P-plot for C2, and then I changed the titles to be a little more descriptive, and that's what you need to do. So there we have the commands box plot C2 transpose, and I changed the titles around, and I'm going to copy and paste these into my Excel. So now I copy and paste and have my 4 graphs, and now I'm ready to copy and paste this and put it into my Word document. So I'd take these and I'd copy them. So I'm left clicking. I say copy, and I'm going to go into my Word document now, and I'm going to paste it where it is. So just leaving some words here. I'll fill that in, what I would write. Yeah, let me do this and do Control-V, and there we have our graphs. And there I have all my graphs. So now I can put in my interpretation. The normal probability plots are not bad. There are no major deviations from normality, and we don't see any outliers in our box plots. So we can say that the T procedures it's reasonable to do them. So I'll write that in. So again, something like this, from the probability plots and box plots, there's no major deviations from normality or outliers, therefore it's reasonable to use the T procedures, or you can speak to each of the graphs, however you want to write that up. If you don't see any major deviations from normality and no outliers, the T procedures are reasonable to use. So now it's time to do a confidence interval. So here's the command. We're going to do a two-sample where we're doing male IQ minus female IQ, because I put the C1 before C2. So like I told you in MINITAB, whichever one comes first comes before the subtraction sign. So now I'm ready to save my results. And you've got to copy and paste these results into your MINITAB. So make sure that you do that, because we want to see the commands used. So you copy those, and you make sure they get pasted in the report. So we would have, and we're going to write this up, but I'm going to paste my MINITAB output in here and use it to finish my statement. So the difference in means of male IQ and female IQ for students in Midwest District is between, and we have our confidence interval right here. So I'm going to put that in there, is between 0.63 and 9.06. Oh, and remember we have the different interpretations. So I'm going to do the, I'm going to do the period. Say. So the next thing would be doing tests of significance. So there's those different parts where we have to write the null and alternative hypothesis, but we have to know what the question is. And so I'm going to say the question we have here is at a 0.05, so I'm going to write it up, and we'll do this problem. So there's our question. Do they differ? And it's time to start working on it. We first have to state the null and alternative hypothesis. H naught mu1 minus mu2 equals 0 versus the alternative hypothesis, which is mu1 minus mu2 doesn't equal 0. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do my insert symbol and do the not equal to sign. Are you? Not equal to 0. So then we're going to change the m's to mu's, so you can go to symbol. And do that. So I'm going to do that for each of these and make it look nice. So there we have the null and alternative hypothesis, and we wrote them down. Now it's time to do the significance level, and so now we have to get the test statistic and the p-value. That's when we need MINITAB. And there we have our answer. So when we return, we'll put these in, and they'll be put in, and then we're going to go on to doing the proportion.